my Deuterinos. The name is Cruggles. I'm actually here with a something different from usual. I never was really sure I'd play this type of game. Uh, not because it's a vampire game. No, this is a visual novel. Set in a tabletop RPG setting named The World of Darkness. Specifically within the Vampire the Masquerade. Sorry, not within the World of Darkness, but like Vampire that uses. I guess I don't know if it really uses the Vampire the Masquerade setting, but it has to do more with that part of the lore, I guess I should say. I will say I already know. I think I played it once before, but like I didn't get very far, and I even forgot to save. Hence why the load thing is grayed out. But like that was a while ago, so I don't even remember anything really. I will say I do know some of the lore, because I read some of the books. So I will try to explain things as I go along. But for now, let's try this, see how it is. Okay. So there's 3 types of vampires you can be, or clans you can be in. The Brujah, which literally it kind of describes it. The rebel against power and rage against authority. A seemingly insignificant man with significant ideas will join their ranks tonight. So yeah, the Brujah are mainly, yeah, like, that's what it is. They're the rebels. They're like, they tend to be more aligned with, some of the more, anarchists among the vampires. As you can kind of see by the symbol here. Ventru. Aristocratic blue bloods embody wealth, sovereignty, and control. A top-level corporate executive will join the ranks tonight. That kind of is what it is there. Literally, they tend to be the people that are more of the ones kind of in control of the society in some level. And yeah, it's pretty simple. I mean, there's more to the clans than what I'm saying here. I'm just giving very simple, kind of saying, yeah, these things are right. Okay, Toreadors. The divas seek thrills of art, romance, and cruelty amidst stagnant undeath. A tormented artist will join their ranks tonight. Toreadors are basically, they're very concerned with aesthetics. You know, they're concerned with arts and stuff. Generally, when they get turned into a vampire, it's because they themselves are beautiful, or because somebody sees them as having an extremely artistic mind and wants to preserve them. I'm gonna play the Brujah. Alright, I could, you know what, we're gonna go with, there we go. New York taught me to believe, okay, so I guess this is like a prologue maybe? New York taught me to believe in fate. Had you asked me about fate when I was a human, I would have told you it's just superstitious bullshit. That we are all designers of our own destinies. That belief shattered when the richest woman in the United States, the actual richest one, not a face you could have seen in the papers, of course, sank her teeth deep into my neck. There's no... Oh, so there's a dictionary there. The beginning, your introduction to the world of darkness begins now. Okay. And is there... There's no voices for me to turn. That sucks. I was hoping kind of that there would be voices I could turn on, but oh well. Not a face you could have seen in the papers, of course. Saying her oh yeah, we already read that. It happened in the very same place you're standing in right now, by the way. Fate, you decide. Ellipsis. Please, there's absolutely no need to be hostile. Just listen a little longer. See, my mistake was that I flew too close to the sun. It makes sense that my punishment was to never see its glow again. I was incandescent myself. I was hot shit. I had it all. Money, looks, confidence, connections, men, women, a career, and a spark in my eye. The one you need to be born with. That's when someone far more powerful than me saw my radiance and thought, that won't do. She robbed me of the light erupting from within and gave me a subtle, enduring gleam in its place. She decided that would fit me much better. She was a ninth-generated kindred, just like you. An apex predator. She probably enjoyed teaching me. The peak of human excellence. My real place in the food chain. It's such an eyesore when you look at some loudmouth braggart and see them for all they really are. The temptation to teach them a lesson can be unbearable, right? Well, my sire's lesson was a lesson about fate. A message saying, you're eternally doomed to be at the mercy of your sovereigns. It almost drove me to destroy myself. What saved me was the ability to reinterpret her teachings. Hers wasn't a message of doom, it was a message of hope. Fate exists, and one can shape it if given the right tools. My sire didn't believe my tools were fitting for the job. She considered them toys, and me, just her amusing subject. Well, she's deader than dead now, and I'm still here, standing right where she stood when we first met. You might have wondered how I've learned about your arrival at JFK Airport. My answer is, of course, destiny. As luck would have it, today happened to be a day where some of my associates were inspecting the coffins. Driving you here straight from the plane and having you wake up in such an unfamiliar place was a little desperate, and I do apologize for it. But it is so rare for you to visit New York. 3 times in the last 15 years, was it? And you're never eager to inform me you're here. I understand you still have that meeting on 53rd Street later tonight, so I'll provide a comfortable transport. I value our relationship very much, don't get me wrong, but it's precisely because I value it that I'm going to ask you to repay the favor you owe me. You're the only one I trust to do the job well, and without attracting attention. You might think I'm crazy, asking to breach of rules of our society like this. You might think it's impossible to get away with it unpunished, but this is New York, and I don't know about other cities, but in this one, fate really exists. And right now, it's smiling in your favor. This is how it begins. The music is pounding and your pulse is keeping pace. This is one of those nights that makes you feel alive, even though it started with you feeling dead. First came the messy breakup, then the realization that you have nobody to talk about how much it sucked. Still, you decided to roll with the punches. One Facebook search for local events later, and you found just the thing for your malaise. A short subway ride, and you find yourself at the club just outside Dumbo. Not a fancy one, mind you. More like a slightly refurbished warehouse. But hey, at least the drinks are cheap. The DJ seems to really know his shit, too. Alternating between cutting-edge industrial techno and classic Detroit crowd pleasers, expertly feeling out everyone's mood. An hour passes, then 2. Usually you'd feel awkward coming to a place like this alone, but tonight you find something soothing in joining the crowd, blending in, even as you allow the beat to take over. Sweat. Yours, other people's, soaks through the ear shirt and pants in a matter of minutes. A thought pops into your head. From the outside, the fully packed club must seem like a stuffy, smelly nightmare. But here, in the thick of it, it becomes exhilarating. And you're not even on a pill tonight. There's this Latina chick whose curves are accentuated by the light dress clinging to her body, and she keeps bumping into you. Something tells you it only seems incidental. Yeah, it's a good night. You wish it could last forever, because you all know all too well what the next day holds. Waking up, getting dressed for work, the commute, the 9-to-5 grind that will make you just enough money to pay the rent and keep living in your overpriced shithole of an apartment. And with Jessica moving out, it'll all be coming out of your pocket. You run some quick calculations in your head and immediately come to regret. I can't even speak tonight, don't mind me. Well, I can't speak ever, let's be real here. You run some quick calculations in your head and immediately come to regret that you did. Never mind. You spot the Latina again. She's now getting next to another guy, hitting it off. Your chance of not going to bed alone. Gone. Just like that. Fuck. Your mood temporarily shot down. You leave the dance floor and stumble your way to the filthy bathroom. You take a look in the mirror and start to wash your face, obsessively. Over and over again. A voice from the past echoes in your mind. I've never felt like this with anyone. Seriously, I mean it. I feel like all of my relationships up to this point were test runs, a shitty way to compensate for my low self-esteem. But this feels right, finally. Shut up, Jess. This was the craziest fucking day of my life. God, I need to smoke. Pass me a light. What do you mean? Cops took the lighter? There's one in your mouth. Just shut the hell up. This is not you not anymore. Oh, fuck off. This is so like you. Acting like some sort of Clint Eastwood wannabe when I really, really need you to open up. Think you're impressing people with this tough guy act? Fuck you. I know how broken you really are. You need therapy. Yeah, now that sounds like the Jessica of today. You raise your head and look in the mirror. You try to smile, but all you can muster is a self-pitying grin. And there she is. The Latina from before. She says you look like you need a drink. You hesitate for a second or two, and then blurt out a surprisingly enthusiastic, yeah. You start to talk. It quickly becomes evident that she's into politics, and you are eager to please. You might be a corporate drone, but you spend a lot of evenings reading theory. Actual theory, not bastardized Twitter cliff notes, and organizing for all manners of causes online. Status quo sucks, but there must be something better. She agrees. You seem to subscribe to the same progressive political theories, have compatible ideas about the DSA's missteps, even watch the same YouTube channels. Your goals are aligned. She seems a bit more radical than you would have guessed. You attended a few rallies, been to a few protests, but this girl sounds like she broke her share of faces and kicked more than a couple of cops in the nuts over the course of her activist career. Her zeal is infectious. She taps into a pent-up anger that you didn't know you had. Noisy club stops working for you both, so you hit the streets. Just as you're leaving, the DJ starts playing All the Things She Said by Tattoo, T-A-T-U. You chuckle to yourself, trying not to slip into a bad headspace. She tickles along with you. It's chilly outside. But soon enough, you find yourself too invested in listening to the girl's voice to care about anything else. You realize you've been holding hands for a while. The subway car is empty, save for a stoic middle-aged couple and a drunk staring intently at his own feet. Plenty of room to stretch out, and yet she sits right next to you. You can feel her thigh pressing into yours, her breath on the side of your neck. Maybe it's the booze talking, but you distinctly hear your voice asking if she'd like to crash at your place. I've got a better idea, she says. At this point, you're down for anything as long as it lets you just spend a few more minutes with her. She takes you to a sleazy motel in the Bronx, trading a few words with the balding, tired-looking guy at the front desk. He hands her a key. Still holding your hand, the woman leads you up the stairs. The room you end up in is almost comically stereotypical, complete with flaking paint and a sticky floor. Not that it matters, though. The moment you step through the door, she's on you. You try to take the lead, but she's having none of it. Before you know it, you feel the rickety bed pressing against your back. It's sloppy, fun, fierce, and not once does she lose the initiative. Your hands reach under her t-shirt. Strange. It didn't look like she was cold outside, but now her skin feels eerily cool. As if sensing your confusion, she slaps your hands off of her. She kisses your neck. You are overwhelmed by the sensation. Darkness. The taste of liquid fire and smoke on your tongue. Her voice saying, "Sorry, kid. I did what I had to do to leave this city in one piece. But don't worry. With my blood and your principles, you're gonna do just fine." She slams the motel room behind her as she leaves. You lie helpless on the soiled, pungent mattress for some time. Minutes? Hours? Before you can focus enough to try and piece everything together, your evening... It hits you. Your hunger. The big hunger. It grips you by the throat and makes your inside shrivel in terror. It's an all-encompassing emptiness that throws you on all fours. You crawl for a while, squirm on the floor in sundering pain, then jump to your feet and bust out the door. You black out. Ellipsis. This isn't the room you saw when you last closed your eyes. Somebody curses at you. A small, naked buff dude holding a short leather whip. Whoa, hang on. Wow, what a goofy motherfucker. He throws a punch. He yells out several slurs. Hits you in the jaw. You black out again. This guy isn't moving anymore. There's blood on his neck. Wait, hang on, I need to... Throws out a punch, he yells out, he hits you in the jaw, you black out again. There's blood on his neck. There's blood on his arms. There's blood on the floor. There's blood everywhere. Wow, whoever did this is one sick puppy. You realize you're sitting on top of his corpse. You hear a whimper. Someone else is there. A woman. Her arms are tied to the bed frame, a mask over her face. Red marks on her back. This time you see it happening. You want to stop, but can't. She almost manages to get a scream out, but it dies in her throat as you wade into the side of her neck. You drink. Blood. You're drinking blood. You can swear you feel her life force escaping your body, entering yours. Suddenly terrified, you tear away from her. She's not moving, but she's breathing. There's barely a mark on her neck. The guy on the floor, though? You double over in a spasm, realizing what you did. You feel like throwing up, but can only gag. Panic sets in as another realization dawns on you. Your heart is not beating. You put 2 fingers to your wrist, but feel no pulse. Same thing on the neck. Nothing. There is no breath coming out of your mouth. You have to get out. Get someone to call an ambulance, for yourself at least. Probably too late for the dude on the floor. Did you really kill him? What a mess. You look up. The door to the room is ajar. A tall, handsome, broad-shouldered man fills the entire frame. He brushes an imaginary speck of dirt off his perfectly tailored suit. Okay, between the 3 options, I don't know what I'd pick. I mean... I wouldn't want to, go to the police right away because, you know, finding out I'm probably a fucking vampire. Oh, hang on, I just saw somebody walking in the background over there. Hang on, also, let me hit the save button. Oh, it's only save and exit, damn it. Okay. I don't know if I'd actually say out of the way to him. I don't know if I'd really say this is not what it looks like. So let's, this is not what it looks like. Let's just say that. Or, no, Here, let's hit the save and exit button, because I want to save here. Okay. Oh, whoops, that's the dictionary. Okay. So I saved, so that way if something happens, I at least can get back to this first choice. I don't have to read everything. Okay. Between these two... Well, hang on, let me see if it said he was, like, blocking the door. I don't know, this is probably what I'd think to say. Hey man, this isn't what it looks like. That's good to hear, because from where I'm standing, it looks like you're in a world of trouble. He surveys the room, not moving an inch from where he's standing. He shakes his head in mock concern. Murder, assault, that's 25 to life if you're lucky. But since you're not, it's a death sentence. He takes a glance at his expensive-looking watch. Lucky for you, it's been a slow night. Otherwise, I might not have gotten here in time. Come on, the sun comes up in a few hours. You don't want to be around here when it does. I wouldn't... He's being kind of nice. I wouldn't say fuck you. I don't really... I'm probably smart enough to recognize that that a doctor probably wouldn't be able to help me, so I'd be, like, asking the sun. What's it matter when the sun comes up? Ah, so you don't even know. You should be glad I got here before you made yourself scarce. The man approaches you and starts talking. His tone remains unnaturally calm. Oddly enough, you find it both soothing and unnerving. Now listen to me. I know this is all new to you, but I've dealt with hundreds of strays like you, and going by experience, they tend to fall into two categories. First, there are the smart ones, who carefully obey my every word and don't try to pull off anything stupid. I always get them where they need to be, safe and sound. And then there are the dumb ones, the punks who thought they could take me on, the wise guys who tried to contact somebody secretly and without permission, the troublemakers who tried to run off or make a scene. None of them got to their destination in one piece. In fact, most of them never reached their destination at all. His voice becomes slightly bored and monotone. You can tell he's given the speech before, likely dozens of times. So you see, while I generally consider myself smart, I'm also a Mets fan. It's my one true weakness. One that inspired me to come up with a 3-strike system when dealing with pups like you. If you get on my nerves once or twice, well, I understand. Not all of us perform well in stressful situations. But cross me 3 times, and you are out. No excuses, no forgiveness, no mercy. As he's talking, he's slowly approaching you, adding a bit of a theatrical swagger to his walk. Eventually he leans in, deliberately invading your personal space. You realize it's a test. He's daring you to do something about it. 3 strikes and you're out. Say, I understand, sir, now. You've never been too eager to bend the knee to anyone, but this is something else. The man's very presence instills primal fear in your heart. I don't want to just immediately give in, but I don't want to be a complete asshole. And I'm probably confused enough that I probably say, what are you talking about? Can't you just tell me what the hell is going on? No, and that's strike 1, by the way. Okay, he's a fucking asshole. Moving on, is there anyone you'd want to inform of your current situation? Tell them you're alright. He flashes his fangs briefly, and for some reason, the sight sends a chill down your spine. something very wrong about him. Someone closest to you? I'm lying. I am fucking lying. Jerry. Jerry. Yes. And who is this Jerry? Your frantic mind is drawing a blank. Jerry is a man of many faces. I'm sorry, this is funny. I don't know why this is so funny. Jerry. Stranger gives you a tired stare. Lying to me is a strike, whelp. My girlfriend, Jessica. She's my girlfriend. Stranger's eyebrow twitches. You're lying. That's a strike. You are, and you don't know why you did it. Well, you expect why, but this isn't the sign for a pitiful self-examination. Instead, you decide to double down. Check my phone if you want, man. She's there at the top of my contacts. He looks at you suspiciously, but takes you up on your offer. Seeing the suggestive emoji Jess herself has put next to her name, he gives you an impenetrable stare. He can definitely tell something's off, but doesn't bother to press the issue. Well, I suppose you two really are close. Instead of giving you back your phone, the man hides it in his pocket. From this point on, you are subject to different laws than the ones you grew up under, and you'll be watched by many eyes to ensure these laws are respected. You are forbidden from letting anyone know you're still alive. You are forbidden from showing your face anywhere they know you. If anyone comes looking for you, it's over for both you and them. He interrupts his monotone recitation and stares deep into your eyes. So unless you want your girlfriend to end up at the bottom of the Hudson, I suggest you cooperate. I'm trying to get his voice, but like, when I don't even hear, I can't even really try. It's harder to do. He probably displays his fangs again. You put Jess in danger. God damn it. I can only hope that you care for her enough not to do anything selfish. His words are meant to imply otherwise, but by now, it's obvious. He hates your guts as much as you hate his. He's itching for a fight, and you're almost willing to oblige. Alright, I think that's enough lecturing for today. We're on a bit of a schedule here. Now, I don't need to hurt you, but I can do so in the blink of an eye. Just so that we're clear, I have the authority to end you right here, right now. This is not an idle threat. So are you going to play along, or do we have to do it the hard way? I'll be honest, I feel like he gives off the impression that he knows way more and could probably, like, fuck me up. I'm trying not to be stupid here, so... Especially after, you know, Jerry. You weigh your chances, but it doesn't look promising. The guy's fit, determined, and looks like he means business. You, on the other hand, are confused, exhausted, and on the verge of a panic attack. Yeah, fine. I'll go with you. He almost looks disappointed. A wise decision. Follow me, please, and close the door behind you. You take one final look at the woman, who's just coming to, at the body in the ground. This is fucked. Absolutely fucked. You pull the handle and close the door. The man leads you downstairs. You contemplate signaling the bald guy at the front desk, but he's too busy watching some 90s action flick on a small, ancient-looking TV. He seems totally oblivious to your presence. You hear a dejected Jean-Claude Van Damme say, "I just want to go home," as you're walking by. Your would-be kidnapper stops by the door and addresses you before opening it. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, as soon as he opens the door, I'm making a run for it. Maybe I can outrun him. I'll save you the trouble. You can't. You can either get inside my car and I'll get you to where you need to be, or you can try something stupid that you'll regret later. Do I make myself clear? I'm gonna be questioning things. Why don't you turn me in? Because no one would benefit from that, and besides, I have my orders. Okay. He opens the door and gestures to a black Cadillac Escalade parked right outside the building. So this guy probably might not even want to be here. After you. I need more information, and I feel like just running won't get me it, so go inside the car. Following the stranger's instructions, you make your way to the car and get in the back seat. The door locks behind you. Inside, the Cadillac is almost entirely dark. The side windows seem light-proof. The man gets in the driver's seat, starts the engine, and drives away without another word. Who are you? Who the hell are you anyway? I'm the ferryman, here to take you to the other side. He weighs his next words carefully. You'll have to forgive me. I'm not in the mood to wax poetic. About the state you're in or my role in tonight's events, just remember, if you want to survive the next 24 hours, you'll have to play along. I am gonna this is some shady. Man, this is bullshit. Why does everything have to be a fucking riddle? Well, riddle me this. Who's gonna get their teeth smashed into their brain if he doesn't shut up? Damn! I'm just saying, it's shady bullshit. Understand that this is for your own good. Times being what they are, you should consider yourself lucky. You drive in silence for about 20 more minutes. As exhaustion catches up with you, the streetlights fade into a blur. Eventually, the car stops and the doors open. You emerge from your dreamlike state and find yourself in some kind of underground parking garage. You two are the only ones here. The man points to a nearby door. Go on in, make yourself comfortable. If you get hungry again, take a look in the fridge. I'll pick you up tomorrow and you'll get your answers. Behind the door is a small room. No windows, just a simple bed and a single light bulb hanging from the ceiling. A small fridge is humming away in the corner, accompanied by a rattling AC fan in the wall. This is fucked up. I'm not saying that I'm not going in there, but between the bottom and the top option, I guess I have to trust you, or I don't know what kind of tone they mean for the this is fucked up option. And also, I'm still trying to get my answer, so everything's gonna be like questioning things. So I have to trust you? Guess I got no choice but to trust you. Took you this long to figure out? Dude, fuck you. Remember when I said you were lucky? I meant it. See, my job is to get rid of problems, but I'm not always this polite about it. This time, I was specifically told to mind my manners. So believe me when I tell you, considering how this night could have turned out, being stuck in here for a night is a really good deal. Now get in, or I'll throw you in. I feel like he could throw me in. So I'm not gonna... You step inside. The stranger nods. Good night. Closes the door behind you. It looks sturdy, but as he's locking it, you notice claw marks all over it. Looks like some previous guests weren't satisfied with their stay. You decide not to dwell on it and check the fridge. There's a single plastic bag there, filled with red liquid, no label. Tomato soup? You feel sick to your stomach. Best to leave it for now. You lie down on the bed. It's a simple mattress on a metal frame. You can't help but think it looks exactly like the one back at the hotel, with the bound woman. Oh, right. You killed a man tonight. Or did you? Maybe none of this is real. Maybe it's all an elaborate prank. The girl at the club, Jess might have put her up to it. The tall guy's clearly in on it too. Now he's back with them and they're all laughing their asses off. You don't know what to think anymore. Your mind races, but you're too tired to keep it going. Finally, you tense up one last time before drifting away into oblivion. You wake up. That in itself is a surprise. You barely remember when you drifted off. It didn't quite feel like sleep. Or it didn't feel quite like sleep, more like plummeting into an endless void. You imagine that's how death feels like. The room is unchanged. The lamp is still on. The AC is still rattling. The refrigerator's still humming. You take a look at your watch. It's almost 9 p.m. You've slept for 17 hours straight. Maybe you died. Your breath is gone and you feel no thumping in your chest. Does that qualify as dead if you're still conscious? You're not sure about that, but you are certain about one thing. You are hungry. It's not your stomach rumbling, though. It's a need that starts somewhere in your abdomen and spreads to your chest, throat, and back of the head. You open the fridge. The bag is still there. You take a closer look at it. If it is soup, then its color and texture are off. You pull the cork out and take a whiff. Wait, hang... Oh, because it's like a bag with the cork in it. Okay. You recognize the smell immediately. Holy shit. There's no mistaking it. It's bagged blood. The smell is faint, and you remember some situations of the past where you found it nauseating, but now it almost... No, not almost. It is enticing. Part of me's wondering if he was encouraging me to drink the blood, like, for a reason. So I am going to put the bag back. And also just... I'd probably still be uncomfortable with the whole thing, so I'm putting the bag back. Something in your body wants you to have a sip from the bag. Somehow it's tempting, but the very idea makes you feel sick to your stomach. You cork the bag and put it back in the fridge. Some time passes. You try to piece together different thoughts, make sense of it all, when you hear the lock click and you see the door open. Standing there is the well-dressed stranger you met yesterday. Immaculate suit again, that predatory look, like a hawk on a hunt, but somehow more relaxed tonight. So, like a tamed hawk, maybe. Good evening. Slept well? Your face is good enough as an answer, I suppose. There's not much you know, but of this you're 100% sure. You look like shit right now. Come on, we've got places to be. The car is humming in the empty parking lot, just inside... I thought I felt a burp coming. The car is humming in the empty parking lot, just outside the door of the cramped room you have spent the day in. The man motions to it politely, but with a stern look on his face. I could just take the car, but I still need more information. So I'm just getting in. I'm trusting you here, man. I'm touched, sincerely. You take the back seat again. The door is locked. The stranger takes the wheel and starts the car. You drive in silence for a while. From time to time, you keep trying to catch glimpses of familiar streets or landmarks through the blackened windows, but it's of little use. The car is also soundproofed, so all you can hear is a bit of traffic humming and the car's engine. They forgot a, I think, apostrophe there. The driver doesn't say anything and seems focused on the road. You check the door handle. Yeah, the door is locked alright. The piece of dark glass separating you and the front of the car looks sturdy too. There's nothing left to do but wait. You didn't have time to think about it before, but you realize that now that you're... hungry? No, not exactly. It's not a rumbling stomach that grabs your attention. It's a need that starts somewhere in your abdomen and spreads to your chest, throat, and back of the head. After a while, the need transforms into an overwhelming wave of anger. You clench your fists and jaw. You kick the wall that divides you and the driver. You feel like screaming. I probably am going to start swearing a little bit. Fuck. Watch your profanity, fledgling. Keep your impotent rage in check, or else I'll do it for you. Impotent, just you watch, bastard. Part of me wonders if this is like a test type thing. I don't know. I have the tendency to actually, like, even while I'm angry, like, still have some tendency to think. And hold it for what... So I am going to keep it in. Your fists hurt. Your head hurts. Your bowels are burning with a dull flame. And yet you don't break. A minute goes by and the rage passes. The car continues on its way with no further comment from the driver. You feel exhausted. The anger that you erupted with is now just a smoldering fire, but your hunger remains. It takes you another 20 or so minutes to get to your destination. As the door opens, you try to get your bearings. You're still in New York, that much is certain. Queens, maybe? After me. No sudden movements, please. You approach a nice-looking building that houses a 2-story gallery called the Art Hole. 2 large men in suits flank the door on both sides, and they give your companion a nod as you approach. Prompted by the stranger guiding you, you walk inside. The gallery is full, which is unusual at this hour, to say the least. About 2 dozen faces fill the showroom, and a number of waiters navigate the gathering, serving drinks. All of them are beneath the guests' attention. The visitors are well dressed for the most part, but it's unclear what they have gathered here for. Nobody seems to be particularly interested in the art pieces on the walls, and the atmosphere is polite, unnaturally so. Many guests turn to look at you and the stranger who brought you here. Their glances are varied. You see open contempt on a few faces and animated interest on others. Most of the eyes in the room calmly observe you, as if wishing to appraise your worth. The last time you felt like this was at your previous job interview. It was like being a piece of livestock, inspected from all sides for any imperfection, so your wage could be haggled down. It was dehumanizing and made you feel dirty. When they called you the next day to offer you the job, you declined. Even when you're a nobody, you become even less if you trade away your dignity for a paycheck. The memory makes you feel warmer inside, even now, although the state of your bank account never did. Good evening, Kadir, and to you, child. The noble, cold voice takes you out of your head and back to the situation at hand. The gallery, a crowd of strangers, you being brought here against your will. For what purpose? The room awaits your response. I probably am thinking, like... I'm just confused about the fact that, she called me, excuse me, what? Excuse me. What? The Prince of New York City, Helene Panhard, child of Michaela, is addressing you, whelp. My sheriff, this harshness is unnecessary. The fledgling has every right to be confused. She is somewhat plain-looking and doesn't seem to possess a great deal of charm, but still the entire room is intently focused on her voice. She has influence over these people. That much is clear. You may address me as Prince, child. I realize your introduction into unlife was abrupt, and I understand your sire left shortly after. The rules of our society dictate I punish you both for this transgression. A murmur of agreement, maybe, can be heard from the great gathered audience. But I am willing to listen to what our loyal sheriff has to say about the circumstances of your embrace first. I'm going to ask about being... I have to ask. Are you serious for what exactly? The sins of the father, so to speak. We have certain rules. One of them is that it is unlawful to create progeny without the prince's approval. My approval. Your sire never bothered to ask for it. You are about to be judged by the court of New York City. Kadir, please tell us how you found this fledgling and what happened on your way here. Court? Prince? Is this some kind of secret society make-believe? A trusted informant who has chosen to remain anonymous at this time tipped me off about a suspicious kindred appearing in one of our domains. Upon investigating, I found them gone, but this fledgling remained in their place. Wait, hang on. Oh, suspicious kindred, okay. But this fledgling, okay, hang on. But this fledgling remained in their place, okay. The hunger made him savage a prostitute and his client in a Bronx hotel belonging to one of the ministry. I have already spoken to Sansur... I don't know how to pronounce that. I'm so sorry. Sansur... We'll call it Sans for now. If somebody knows how to... I'll look it up. I'll look up the pronunciation later about this and made sure it'll blow over. Regarding the fledgling himself, surprisingly enough, he offered little resistance last night and cooperated on our way to the safe house. I was pleased to not have to force his compliance. We had a quick chat, but wishing to appear here post-haste, I urged him to join me, which he did without struggle. Again, a pleasant departure from my usual routine. His baser nature took over during the drive here, but I am relieved to know he managed to compose himself before I was forced to intervene. The story ends with us arriving at Elysium tonight. All eyes are on you again. You take a special interest in one of the faces. It's a beautiful woman with curly, almost blood-red hair, and a dress to match. You see her whispering to some bespectacled man with an absent-minded look on his face. Who is she, you wonder? Prince Panhard. Thank you, Kadir. I take note of this fledgling's behavior and will take it into consideration later. She turns her attention to you. First, there is the matter of your sire. The person who brought you where Kadir picked you up from last night. Who were they? Sire, I'm going to be asking questions. Let me ask you this. Why do you keep using that word? Sire. What does it mean? Under regular circumstances, they would be your patron and the one responsible for your introduction to our society. Things being what they are, however, I would very much like to know who they are. Indulge me. You find it impossible to decline our final request. Something in her voice makes you want to please her, and you hear yourself speak. A Latina woman, very radical, unless she convincingly lied to me. She was special, extraordinary. She had fire, conviction, temper. She did seduce me, easily in fact. Made me think she wanted me. I fell for it, and now I'm here. You stop yourself from saying more, then realize there's really not much more to talk about. A nagging thought enters your mind. How did this prince persuade you with such ease? Well, Kadir, does that sound familiar? No, it does not, or at least not familiar enough. I will continue the search after we're done here. I'm going to ask what happens now. I'm not going to give the information about the receptionist. I need more information for myself. What happens now? That's as much as you're getting out of me. What now? Now? Now it's time to decide your fate, fledgling. What shall I do with the fledgling, my prince? What is your recommendation, my sheriff? The traditions are clear. Thou shalt only sire with the permission of thine elder. If thou createst another without thine elder's leave, both thou and thy progeny shall be slain. I am ready to fulfill my duty. Stay your hand for just a moment longer, Kadir. I wish to consult my council on this, make sure everyone is in agreement. Of course. He seems strangely relieved. The prince leaves the main showroom, and a handful of people follow her out. You're about to ask this Kadir what all that talk of traditions in council was, when the red-haired woman approaches the two of you. Sophie. Sheriff, I was wondering if I could have a word with the fledgling? What for? She lowers her voice in response. Come now, Kadir. We all know what the verdict is going to be. Let me speak to them. You might not have to stain your hands tonight after all. Her words grab his attention. His face is hard to read. It's like several emotions are struggling for domination. Anger, sadness, hope, gratitude, resolve. I'll go get my sword. He steps out of the room the way you came, and you are left in the showroom with the woman in the red dress. She takes you aside, and the eyes of the remaining guests follow you. Well then, fledgling, you are in quite the pickle. What was that about a sword? What is this circus? I think I am going to be like, I want to know a little bit more. So I'm going to ask a specific question, not a generalized question. What do you mean? I still don't understand what my crime is here. Poor thing. This really isn't your fault, but if you want to get out of here in one piece, you need to understand one crucial fact that seems to have eluded your grasp. Last night, you became a vampire. Wait, what? I mean, okay. I feel like I would have, well, maybe not, I don't know. Shock might have set in and I might not have pieced it together. But if shock didn't set in and like I was just, you know, being myself, I'd probably realize it. Oh yes, I am well aware of how ridiculous that sounds. It's the reason why we have these nicer words for it. Kindred, being embraced, having a sire, the fact remains. The beings called vampires? You're looking at them. They're us. You glance around. Some of the guests are still occasionally looking at you, commenting on you in hushed tones. Many of the patrons are pale. Really pale. Most hold glasses of wine. No, not wine. That's not the right thickness. And not the right color either. You're trying to come up with something else sensible to say, but you're drawing a blank. It makes a morbid kind of sense. You drank blood last night, there's no denying it, and your breathing has not returned. Your heart remains still. A vampire. Two voices in your head start battling for supremacy. One of them slowly begins to put everything that happened since yesterday together, coming to a conclusion that no matter how insane it might seem, nothing but what she's saying makes sense. The other voice just keeps saying, what the fuck, on repeat. That's me! You're surprised. Actually, no, both voices would be, that would be me in the situation. This is how often it plays out by design. Kadir deliberately keeping you in the dark and all. If we do nothing, you will be cut down, as sure as day follows night. But I'm here to offer you a chance, a way out, under one condition. I will take you under my wing. If you're lucky, the prince will be in a good mood tonight, and your deference to Kadir will work in your favor. She might agree to this, but only if you swear fealty to me. There's the catch. I'm not making this offer lightly. As your patron, I will take responsibility for you. Your actions will reflect on me. If they reflect negatively, well, I will make sure you face the consequences. You'll make me your so let me get this straight. You'll make me your servant in exchange for my life. That's the deal? If you insist on putting in such pedestrian terms, yes, that is the deal, as you so eloquently put it. The alternative is, I fear, final death at the hands of Kadir. Here, tonight. Steps and hushed voices can be heard from the side room. It seems the prince and her counselor are returning to the showroom. Kadir appears from downstairs as well and starts walking towards you. When you hear the verdict, ask to be spared. I will intervene. Remember my condition. She flashes a heart-melting smile towards Kadir, who does not smile back. The sheriff's immaculate suit is now complemented by a curved, oriental-looking metal scabbard fastened with a colorful sash around his waist. It would look vaguely ridiculous if it wasn't surprisingly intimidating first and foremost. Kadir takes his place next to you and observes as the prince takes center stage again. Loyal kindred of the New York City Camarilla gathered here tonight, I have made my decision regarding this fledgling. She briefly addresses you. I want you to know that this was not an easy decision to make. For your part, you have not done anything to earn our ire. I do feel a genuine sorrow for what must be done. We are all keenly aware that these nights we need to close our ranks and trust the wisdom of our elders and their traditions more than ever before. There is no place for tolerating dissent when our very existence is under constant threat. Although I acknowledge some of my counsel's divergent opinions on this, she takes a look specifically at one of the people who left the room before. A rather plainly dressed, shy-looking man, whose skin has a somewhat healthier tone. He bows his head in deference. I hold the final authority over this fledgling's fate, and I declare that while their embrace might be the sire's responsibility, in their absence it is their progeny that must be punished. The sentence is final death, to be resolved presently. Kadir? You hear a scraping sound and see that the sheriff has unsheathed his curved sword. It is a beautifully detailed blade which you expect must be worth a small fortune. Its apparent sharpness makes you freeze up. 2 outs, bottom of the 9th. His quiet mumble is audible to nobody but you. Oh, he's talking about baseball, okay. As his eyes meet yours, you note just a hint of sadness in his countenance, one that quickly vanishes to give way to grim determination. And he's out to bat. You will not get another chance to speak up. I had to hit save and exit because I know there is something that happens here. You will not get another chance to speak up. Alright, I'm gonna show you guys what happens if I just hit escape. This last chance. Sophie's gaze. The red-haired woman is disappointed after realizing you're not about to speak up. Last chance. The eyes of the crowd focus on you. They know what's coming. They are waiting for it excitedly. Last chance. The sheriff's ridiculous sword raised above you. Menacing. Inevitable? Last chance. Last chance. Last chance. You run. It's a desperate, ugly, panic sprint. In a split second, the world around you spins. You tumble awkwardly. You hear gasps. The crowd divides into those who pretend to be disgusted by the sight and those who take it in unabashedly. There on the floor, 2 legs cut off cleanly above the knees. Here, where you're lying on the ground, the stumps end at around the middle of your thighs. You want to scream, but Kadir's oriental blade cuts through your vocal cords before they make any sound. Darkness, for good this time. Game over. And the credits. I'm not gonna... What? The load button didn't... Okay. Next time around, what I'm going to do is I'm just gonna cut to that part. I'm also gonna see if there's a way, like, I could potentially try to, yeah, next time around, I'm just gonna cut to that part where we, that we just died at. Like, just the choice before we died. I'm gonna see what else I can do. So, that's it for this one. I'll see you guys in the next one. I hope you enjoyed it. Goodbye.